Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for a special edition of Wellness Wednesday, which is a brief webinar series that's sponsored by Partners in Care Foundation, developed to share something fun, something educational, and it's also a time for us to come together, even if virtually. Today's webinar is presented in honor of Fall Prevention Awareness Week, which started this week. And today happens to be the first day of the season, fall. So let me be the first, if not the first, maybe the second or the third, to wish you a happy fall season. But that doesn't mean that we should be seeing more falls in older adults. That's probably why you have joined us today, because that is a key concern that we are going to spend a wonderful amount of time with our speaker today talking about. Just a couple of housekeeping things for everybody in the webinar today. Everybody has joined in listen only mode, meaning everybody's on mute. We can't see you. We can see that you're here, but we can't see your cameras. But that doesn't mean that you won't be able to ask questions. There are two ways that you can ask questions of our speaker today, and that is by using the chat box function or the Q&A function in Zoom. So if you go ahead and enter your questions there, what I will do once our presenter is finished today is I will curate those questions for her, and we will get as many as possible answered today. I'm so excited for today's speaker. Again, like I said, falls is such an important topic that we tried to cover, certainly around Fall Prevention Awareness Week, but it's something that we need to be mindful of all the time. So today we have with us Dr. Sheryl Flynn. She is the co-founder and CEO of Blue Marble Health. She and her team of experienced clinical researchers, software designers, and software platform developers have created a fun assessments, interventions, monitoring, and analytics platform for telehealth and wellness. Blue Marble's suite of products includes evidence-based digital assessments, education, and exercises upper and lower extremity strengthening, balance, coordination, and aerobic and cardio exercises. The software platform can be used with people living with chronic conditions such as lung disease, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and vestibular conditions, as well as older adults who may be at risk for falls. She and her team have secured over $13 million from the DoD and the NIH to develop this platform. Dr. Flynn is a graduate of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program, the Google Next program. Dr. Flynn is the recipient of numerous prestigious awards for academic achievement, leadership, and service. In 2014, Dr. Flynn led Blue Marble to a second place finish in the Dell National Healthcare IT Pitch Day. She is a frequent grant reviewer for the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Sheryl Flynn received her physical therapy degree from New York University, and she completed a PhD with a 3-year postdoctoral fellowship at the McKnight Brain Institute at the University of Florida. Dr. Flynn is most proud of her team and the tremendous accomplishments they have achieved in building the Blue Marble Health platform, and I am so proud to say that she has been a wonderful partner of ours, and we have been able to work with her awesome team. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Sheryl to take us through today's presentation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the presentation. Let me just put it in presentation mode here real quick. There we go. Thank you so much, Christy and Partners in Care, for the opportunity to present today on the first day of falls, but no falls. We're not going to have falls. So let me get started. I wanted to let you know, as Christy mentioned, I'm the CEO of Blue Marble Health, and I could benefit financially from the sales of Blue Marble software platform. And I also wanted to disclose that I got most of the content from this talk today directly from the National Institutes of Health and the CDC website. So today we're going to talk about a couple of important things. First, we're going to talk about some important information about falls. We're also going to cover how to determine if you are at risk for falls, what you can do to prevent falls, exercise and the importance of exercise. And also, I'd love to share with you a study that we're doing that's funded by NIH. It's our Health in Motion Study Opportunity. So first, let's cover some important information. So here's the cold, hard truth. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 older adults are going to fall each year, and less than half of those will tell their doctor about it. Every year, about 3 million adults age 65 are treated in emergency room departments because of a serious fall. 1 in 5 falls can cause a significant injury. And when an older adult falls, they can be serious or even deadly, reduce your ability to live independently, cause injuries that could reduce your quality of life, could even cause a disability, and they could lead to fear of falling, which causes people to become less social, exercise less, and all of that becomes a vicious circle, increasing your risk of falls. And that's the end of the negative stuff we'll talk about. Some factors that increase your risk of falls. Sometimes they can be a single risk factor or multiple risk factors. If you have more than one, you have a higher chance of falling. So things that happen as we age are we have changes in our eyesight and reflexes, our muscles become weaker, we have more difficulty with balance, we might have foot problems. Some medications can cause us to feel dizzy and also have confusion. We could have low vitamin D levels, and there can be hazards in our home that could help us, that could increase our risk of falling. Here's the good news. Falls are not inevitable as you age. Most falls are preventable, and you can reduce your chance of falling or your chance of a loved one falling. And researchers have been really studying for a long time some strategies to help prevent serious falls among older adults, and there are proven ways to help you reduce your fall risk, even for older adults or people aged 65 and over. So let's figure out how to determine if you are at risk for falling. There is a pretty quick test that you can do with yourself to figure out if you are at a higher risk of falls. And this test is called standing on one foot. And it's an important test to determine if you have good balance or if you could catch yourself if you were to trip over something. So if you can stand on one foot without holding on to anything for about 10 seconds, then you probably have a lower risk of falls. And you need to be able to stand on one foot to do a lot of activities of daily living, such as like putting things away in an upper cabinet, going up and down stairs, things like that. So it's really important that you are able to stand on one leg and balance. And the good news is that you can practice this at home a lot. I often tell people to practice it while they're brushing their teeth or practice it when they're standing in line at the grocery store. So let's see how to do this test. I don't recommend you do it right now, but maybe after we get off this call. And the way to do that is you want to set yourself up in a really safe environment. So you want to say stand at your countertop in the kitchen, have a chair behind you in case you lose your balance and you can sit down quickly. And then you'll put your hands on the countertop and you'll try to lift up one leg. So you're standing on one leg. Once you have your balance, try to take one hand off of that support. So you're just holding on instead of with two hands. Now you take away one hand. And then if you can still hold your balance, go to just one finger on that countertop. And if you can hold with just one finger, try to let go. And if you can keep your balance for 10 seconds or more, then you probably have pretty good balance and you probably are at lower risk of falls. Another way to test your fall risk is to see take a quick questionnaire, and I thought it would be good for us to just do it together. So I'm going to read a statement to you, and I want you in your mind to answer yes or no to that statement. And then if you, depending on how you answer, I'll tell you how many points to add, and just try to keep track of the points you have. So I have fallen in the past year. If you answer yes, give yourself 2 points. No, 0. I use or have been advised to use a cane or a walker to get around safely. Yes, add 2 more points. No, 0. Sometimes I feel unsteady when I'm walking. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I steady myself by holding onto furniture when walking at home. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I'm worried about falling. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I push with my hands to stand up from a chair. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I have some trouble stepping onto a curb. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I often have to rush to the toilet. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I've lost some feeling in my feet. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. I take medicine that sometimes makes me feel lightheaded or more tired than usual. If you said yes, give yourself 1 more point. No, 0. I take medicine to help me sleep or improve my mood. Yes, 1 point. No, 0. And the last one is, I often feel sad or depressed. Yes is 1 point. No, 0. So if you take that quiz and you find that you have 4 points or more, then you're probably at higher risk of falls. And so you can see by just taking that quiz, there are some things that you can control about your answers here, and that can help you to reduce your fall risk. Also, there is this quiz is available on the CDC website, but it's a little bit hard to find. If you go to lafallsprevention.org, you can also go to the website and they will ask these same questions and you can get a score. So that's lafallsprevention.org. Other places where you can find a lot of information, CDC or the National Council on Aging has lots of information about fall prevention for older adults. So I wanted to make sure you all knew that there's a lot of information out there on the web. Okay, what can we do to prevent falls? So according to the CDC, there's really 4 key pieces to this. 1, you got to speak up and talk about it. Talk about it to your doctor, talk about it to your friends, talk about it to your family. Get your eyes checked, keep moving, and make your home safer. So let's go through these and a few other ways that we can prevent falls. First one, really important, is to talk to your doctor. Ask your doctor for what we call a comprehensive fall risk evaluation. This will help you determine where you have higher risk areas. You also want to talk to them about your medications, because as I mentioned before, some medications can cause you to feel dizzy or sleepy, and those can increase your risk of falls. Also, if you're taking over-the-counter medications, you should let your doctor know about those too. Another thing to talk to your doctor about is your health history, because you might have a condition that could put you at higher risk of falls, such as dizziness, arthritis, or numbness in your feet. And numbness in your feet, for example, if you can't really feel that the ground is unsteady, you might step on a little pebble and then you'll turn over your ankle and then you'll fall down. And that's just because you couldn't feel the little pebble and your body couldn't adjust to that imbalance. Tell your doctor if you've had a fall in the past, because if you've had one fall, you have a higher likelihood of having a second fall. And ask your doctor also about taking vitamin D supplements, because if you do fall, we want your bones to be really healthy and strong so they won't break when you do fall, or if you do fall. Second most important thing is to exercise. Now we're going to talk a lot about exercise today. I'm just going to mention it briefly here, but we're going to dive into exercise in a minute. So first of all, you want to ask your doctor if there's any reason that you should not exercise. And you want to make sure that you can exercise when you are exercising, that you're really challenging your strength, your balance, coordination, flexibility. There's lots of different ways that you could exercise. Key with that is you want to find something that you like and that you'll stick with. You could join a class, you could go for a walk, you could take a Tai Chi class, you could go to the gym. Some people might need to have physical therapy before they are kind of safe enough to go and exercise on their own. So you could talk to your doctor about that. And then last but not least, we've developed an app that I'll talk a little bit more about later that can really help you with guiding you through some exercises and education and tests, including that one-legged stand test I mentioned before. But we'll talk about that more later. Okay, next thing is having your eyes checked. So remember that you want to make sure your eyes are checked at least once a year to make sure your eyeglasses are up to date. And if you have bifocal or progressive lenses, You may want to get another pair of glasses with that only have distance prescription for your outdoor activities, such as walking. Sometimes different types of lenses can make something seem farther away or closer, and that can cause you to actually trip or, become imbalanced. So if you do decide to start an exercise program that involves you going outside or looking at a far distance, you may want to talk to your doctor about having another pair of glasses. Another important feature of staying active and reducing your fall risk is wearing supportive shoes. So remember that we don't want you wearing things like high heels, flip-flops, slippers, or shoes with a really slick sole. And also people who walk around barefoot, sometimes if your feet are very dry, they can become slippery on like tile or hardwood floors. So you want to be sure that you always have something that has kind of a rubber sole that will help you not slip. And also if you get some really good supportive shoes, that can help reduce your joint pain, which would help you then exercise a bit more. Okay, another factor is making your home safer. So just briefly, we're going to dive in a little bit to this in detail, but briefly, you want to make sure that you remove anything that you could trip over or slip on, things like throw rugs, electrical wires, paper on the floor. Want to make sure you have those grab bars inside and outside of your tub or shower and next to the toilet. If possible, you want to have railing on both sides of the stairs and lights, lots of lights, because the better you can see your environment, the better that you are at avoiding any obstacles. So let's talk about your stairs. I just want you to think a little bit about these questions that I'll ask you. So do you have paper, shoes, or books or other objects on the stairs? Are any of the steps broken or uneven? And this could be in, say, the steps in the front coming into your house or going out the back. Do you have a light switch at both the top and the bottom of the stairs? And do the lights work, or have the light bulbs blown? Do you have carpet on the stairs, and is it secured well? And do you have handrails on both sides? So if you answered no to those questions, or I suppose if you answer yes or no, depending on the question, you want to really think about removing any obstacles that are in your way, lighten the area, give yourself support with those railings, and make sure that you're not going to slip or trip on anything on the stairs. In general, for the floor, when you walk into a room, do you have to navigate around your furniture a lot to kind of get into your space? And if so, then you may want to ask a friend or yourself to rearrange the furniture to make your path easier and straighter, where you don't have to try to avoid so many obstacles. Throw rugs, much as we like them for our environment, they are a nemesis for falls. So just go ahead and pick up those throw rugs. There are types of rugs that you can get that are very, very sturdy and kind of stick to the floor, but we just don't want anything that you might actually trip or slip on. If there's lots of stuff on the ground, such as books or shoes or papers, want to make sure to remove all of those. And if you have to walk over wires or lamps or telephone wires, extension cords, anything like that, then again, you want to try to rearrange your environment in such a way that those wires are up against the wall and out of the way of where you're walking. In terms of the kitchen, the key thing here is really where you're putting away your the objects that you use most frequently. So we want to try to have everything kind of at shoulder and below height, and then sort of like your thighs and up. So there's like a range in between there, where if you could put all the things that you tend to use the most, this way you're not having to use a step stool or step on a chair or something to get things at the very top. And also you won't have to bend far over to get things at the very bottom. And so you may want to take some time to kind of rearrange your kitchen and move things to the levels that are easily within reach. And if you do have a step stool, just make sure it's really sturdy and it has bars that you can hold on to. In terms of the bathroom, you always want to make sure that, and bedroom and bathroom, you always want to make sure that there's a light near your bed that you can easily reach. Some people will actually just keep a flashlight there, but you want to be able to give yourself light should you need to get up in the dark. You want to make sure that your path to your bed, from your bed to your toilet, is very well lit. There are some ways that you could have that lighting come on with a motion sensor or a timer even. So if you do have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, as most of us do, then you want to make sure that that path is well lit. You also want to make sure that your tub and shower floor is not slippery. And if you do need help getting in and out of the bath, make sure you add those grab bars. Okay, now switching back to a couple of other things. Sometimes when we stand up, our blood pressure can drop, and that can make us feel a little bit dizzy or just a little bit lightheaded, a little bit wobbly. And so you want to make sure that when you're standing up, that you stand up slowly and give yourself a minute. So if you're starting from lying down, you can just sit up in your bed or your whatever the surface is that you're lying down on, and just sit up for a couple of minutes to kind of clear your head and let your blood kind of equilibrate within your body. And then while you're sitting there, you could do some little ankle pumps with your feet. You can do some kind of marching with your knees, marching in place. And then once you feel really good about that, then you can stand up, and you can also just take a minute in standing. And same thing, you can lift your heels, lift your toes, and then also do some marching in place and standing. And that just gets your blood moving and going. And if you feel all steady and good to go, then, go ahead, be on your way. But a lot of times people will feel that blood pressure drop. And sometimes that's just because we're aging, but other times it's because of some medication you might be taking. So be careful when you're transitioning to standing up. Okay, so now we're going to dive into a little bit more about exercise, because exercise really has the greatest benefit on your fall risk reduction. So before you start an exercise program, always ask your doctor if there's any exercises that you should avoid. This may be because you have had pain or surgery, or maybe you have a heart condition or something. So you always want to just check with them to see, is there anything I shouldn't do? You also want to make sure that your preventative care is up to date. So I mentioned before about vitamin D and keeping your bones strong. So you want to make sure that you aren't developing osteoporosis, or if you are, that you're taking care of that. And also having your blood pressure checked. That's another one that's really important as we get older. And then you should also ask your doctor about how any of your other health conditions, if you have them, how they might affect your ability to exercise. So diabetes or arthritis or recent surgeries or heart conditions can all impact what you should be doing when you exercise. And also sometimes the medications that you might be taking for those different conditions could impact how your heart responds to exercise. And so you just want to make sure you got all of that cleared with your doctor before you start your program. So some of the benefits of exercise is that you can stay independent longer. You're going to have more energy, believe it or not. Might feel a little bit tired when you get back, but you'll build up and have more energy as time goes on, and it will reduce that feeling of fatigue. It will improve your balance and lower your risk of falls and injuries from falls, because the more muscle you have and the stronger your bones are, then if you do happen to have a fall, the less likelihood you are going to break something or hurt yourself. Exercise can also help you manage and prevent some diseases like arthritis, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, osteoporosis, and believe it or not, 8 different types of cancer. You'll also sleep better. You'll have less stress and anxiety. It will help you to maintain a healthier weight. It'll help you with your blood pressure. And there's starting to be some evidence that it could even help you to improve or maintain your cognitive function. And it will improve your mood and reduce feelings of depression. So there's really nothing bad about exercise. It's just hard to do and hard to be consistent with. And so there's 4 types of exercise that I want you all to try to think about including in your daily life. That's exercises around endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility. So let's talk about each one of those. Endurance. So Endurance exercises are those exercises where you're starting to feel your heart rate go up and you're breathing faster. Things like going for a brisk walk or a jog, yard work, mowing, raking, dancing, bicycle riding, climbing stairs or hills. So anything where you're starting to kind of feel like you're getting a little bit out of breath or your heart rate's going up, then you know you're doing endurance exercises. Strengthening exercises, these help us build and maintain muscles. We can lift weights with, sure, you can go out and get some weights, but you can also just use objects that you found in your home, such as like a bottled water or a soup can. And then also another good one is those resistance bands, which you can pick up at, just about any fitness store. And they come in different amounts of resistance. So we want to make sure that we're challenging our muscles. There's other ways of doing strengthening exercises, such as using our muscles like with yoga. So you can actually just simply use your body as your own resistance. So that's another way to do strengthening. Balance exercises. So these are ones that, of course, you're going to feel like your balance is being challenged. A great one for that is Tai Chi. And again, we've already talked about that balancing on one foot test, but you could do balancing on one foot as an exercise. So you can do any kind of exercise where you're finding that you're kind of throwing yourself off of your sort of sturdy base of support, then that's when you know you're going to be challenging your balance. And if you're comfortable doing other types of exercises like riding a bike or playing tennis, a lot of those will challenge your balance also. Flexibility exercises. So some people ask, why do I need to be more flexible as I get older? And how does that help me reduce my fall risk? Well, the more flexible you are, the easier it is for your body to accommodate a change in your balance. So say, for example, your ankles, you want to make sure that your ankles are very, have good range of motion, because if you were to say, as I mentioned before, the stepping on the rock, or say getting on and off an escalator where you kind of need to catch your balance, your ankles are going to do a lot of that work and trying to help you keep your stability. It also helps you just move more freely, and reach up for those objects in your home and take care of yourself. The more flexible you are, the better. And you can do that from a chair. You can use the wall for helping you to stretch out and really get yourself more flexible. Another exercise idea is to get outside. We've all been cooped up for 1.5 years now, so we're probably all itching to get outside a bit more. And just remember that exercising outside has a lot of benefits, and especially that related to your mood. So if weather permitting, now Christy tells me that in LA, it's going to be over 100 degrees today. So I wouldn't recommend going out to exercise outside today. But weather permitting, you want to make sure that you can get outside and get that sunshine, get some fresh air. Of course, you want to still practice social distancing. And then when we return home, you always want to make sure that you've, washed your hands, to make sure in case you've touched anything or come into any contact with anything while you've been out there, that you're still maintaining good safety precautions for COVID. If you can, go for a bike ride. Bike rides are great. Bike rides can be both challenging for strength, balance, and for your endurance. So you can knock all three out with one. But I want you to remember, it's really important to be safe when you're riding a bike. So always wear a helmet, wear brightly colored clothes, make sure your bike is working properly, check those brakes before you get on the bike, make sure your tires are inflated, and always stop at the intersections, use hand signals, all that good bicycle safety. And just remember that if you do have to ride on the outside of a car vehicle, just remember that a person could be in that car and open the door. So you always want to give yourself a little bit of breath as you go by cars that are parked. Some additional exercise safety. So if you are going to go outside, you want to make sure to carry your ID and emergency contact information. If you are alone, bring your cell phone, but it's always better to exercise with another person if you can, because that social engagement will help you to keep, you stay motivated and keep you on track. Wear light or bright colored clothing. Use some reflective material, especially if you're going out at night. If you do want to listen to music and have your headphones on while you're exercising, just make sure that it's low enough that you can hear other bikes or other sort of emergency warnings. I sometimes will just put one earphone in and leave the other ear, open so I can hear what's going on around me. You want to warm up and cool down before and after you exercise. And also you want to drink lots of water. Remember that if you're thirsty, then that's your body telling you it's too late. You're already starting to be dehydrated. So you want to make sure that you're drinking water before you feel thirsty. And if you have fallen off that exercise wagon, no problem. We've all been there. Join the club. The most important thing, though, is to set a goal and try to move toward it gradually. If you set too high of a goal, it's just not going to be achievable and you'll get discouraged. And remember to just start off moving at a comfortable pace. You don't have to be a superhero when you start back on an exercise program. You'll get there. Consistency is what's best. One way to maintain your consistency is to do things that help you to stay motivated. So these were a few tips that, again, were recommended on the CDC or the NIH website. One is to find ways to fit exercise into your day. So sometimes people ask, do I have to do 30 minutes of exercise all at one time? No, you don't. You can do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. The recommendation, though, is 150 minutes a week. So if you can try to fit in 150 minutes a week, and believe me, walking your dog is exercise. Gardening is exercise. So count those minutes. So these were some tips to stay motivated. Exercise throughout your day. Do exercises that you enjoy. This is really key. You got to find something that you like to do, and that's what you'll stick with. Make it social. You could even use, they're saying here that you could find a virtual buddy. So you could simply just tell your friend, hey, I'm going to go for a walk today. And they sort of become your buddy that keeps you accountable. And so you could say to them, let me know when you've gone for your walk today. So you didn't have to necessarily do it together, but you're kind of on this exercise path together. And again, if there's a break in your routine, just get back in, just get back into it and try to keep track of your progress. That's often very motivating. Here's an example of what NIH recommends as a way to keep track of your exercises. So you just write down the exercise, write down the minutes. You could think about ways of increasing your exercise, and then you just write down your total minutes. And this is for 1 week, second week, the weekend, etc. And you just want to keep adding those minutes. Another thing important to remember is that if you are going to be exercising, especially if it's new, you've got to fuel that body. So you want to make sure that you eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are low in added sugars, saturated fats, and sodium, eat whole grains, and remember to choose all 4 types of exercise: endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility. We all know this. I'm not telling y'all anything new. So remember, no matter your age, you can always find activities that meet your fitness levels, interests, and needs. Engaging in productive activities can help you maintain your well-being. And research shows that older adults that live an active lifestyle are less likely to develop certain diseases, have a longer lifespan, are happier and less depressed, and are better prepared to cope with loss. So in summary, talk to your doctor first before you start your program, but also talk to them about your fall risk. You want to go through all of those different things, having your medication checked, asking them about vitamin D, doing a comprehensive fall risk evaluation. You want to then exercise. Want to get your eyes and ears checked, and you want to exercise. You want to remove things in your home that are going to increase your likelihood of falling. And remember, exercise. Exercise is going to have the greatest benefit on reducing your fall risk. So I'm going to just jump as the final section over to our Health in Motion app and our study, and just kind of talk to you a little bit about that. And I'm happy to then answer any questions about the talk or about the study. And yeah, you all let me know. So the Health in Motion app that we've developed contains essentially all of the important items that we just covered in this talk. So it does have lots of different exercise programs, such as the Otago exercise program, which has been demonstrated through multiple multi-site clinical trials to reduce fall risk. It has Tai Chi exercises in it. Also has educational content, such as the A Matter of Balance program. It will enable you to track your fall risk using evidence-based tests. So for example, that standing on one leg test that I mentioned before, there's another test called the 4-stage balance test, or a questionnaire fall balance confidence scale, or even that questionnaire that we talked at the very beginning, that where I had you added up and mentioned if you had more than 4 points, you might be at higher risk of falls. That questionnaire is in the app. And then the app also has ways for you to set goals and track those goals, and you can check them off when you've achieved them. You can track your medication, you can track your falls, and you can track your fear of falling. So let me jump out of here real quick, and I'm going to just show you a quick demo of what the app looks like. Okay, oops. So this is our main activities dashboard. This is sort of like your daily to-do list. So once you log into the app, and you can use this, by the way, on your phone, your tablet, your computer, however you would normally use digital type of software. And then we can help you get set up with putting in your medications. And if you have if you take medications, you can click on it and you can say that you took it. And what you'll see is that it comes off your list. And so the goal is that each time you do whatever is assigned to you on your list. So here's that one-legged stand test. Here's another test. And it tells you a little bit about each test if you were to click on it. And then you can simply just click the start button and off you go, and you could take those tests. For the exercise programs, we can get you set up on an exercise program. This one is from Otago. So you can see how there's an avatar that will guide you through the exercises. There's lots of different exercises. This is knee extension. This is standing knee flexion. Here's an example of hip abduction. And I'll just show you what it looks like when you start your exercise program. So we give you a few reminders of exercising safely. You don't want to hold your breath. You may need someone to be near you for support. And you also want to change or modify if you're experiencing some pain. Those are some good reminders.
Perform this many repetitions with your left leg. Get ready.
So the whole program has a voiceover, and it's in English and in Spanish. And you just simply do the exercises along with the avatar.
3.
So she'll do them and she'll teach you how to do them. And then you just follow
4.
along with her on your own at home.
5.
So I'm going to just exit out of here because I think you get a general idea of what an exercise looks like. And then another thing that we have in the app is education modules. So this one is based on that matter of balance. So there's a course overview, then there's a lesson on facts and fears of falling, fall prevention strategies, and there's actually a total of 11 lessons. So this is just one. And again, if you were to click on the class, it'll tell you a little bit about the class and how long it takes to complete the class. So you can decide if you have enough time to do that at this moment. Another fun thing that we have is we have a way for you to track your progress over time. So here's an example of a person. Now this is my demo account, so the numbers are all over the place, but you get the idea that you can see if you were to take these tests over time, you can see how you're doing. And I'll just show you that 4-stage balance test as an example. And then you also have the health diary. So in your diary, it's going to give you, ask you some information that you enter this yourself. So your height and weight, it will tell you your body mass index. You can put in your smoking status. If you take any medications, you can just add a new one. And then you can list things related to a health event, but I'm going to show you that in a different screen. So here's where you would record a health event. So let's say you had a fall, and let's say you had an injury, and maybe you even went to the emergency room. So we've checked all those off. So you can estimate the date, you can adjust the date, the time of the fall. What caused you to fall? Well, maybe I slipped and I lost my balance. What day did the injury start? What day did it end? So maybe we'll just adjust this. That it started a few days ago. It ended today. If you went to the hospital, you can enter the name of the hospital, the date you went there, the date you left, and then you can enter any additional information about it. So I slipped on the grass as I was getting the mail. You could also say I called my doctor. So you can input any information. And then when you go to see your doctor, if you happen to have this on your phone, you could pull that up. And if your doctor says, have you had a fall since the last time we've seen each other? You would be able to look right there on your phone and you could let them know. You can also enter your current heart rate. You can measure that with a heart rate monitor if you have it. You can enter your blood pressure when you're lying down, when you're sitting, when you're standing, and then you can enter anything else. So you could say something like, I've been exercising 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and I'm feeling better. So a little way for you to just kind of keep track. And here's where you can see all of your different things that you might have entered over your past history. And last but not least, there's a way that you can add a goal. You can add a SMART goal. So goals, and we teach you about this in the education modules, goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So an example of a goal would be, over the next 2 weeks, I'll complete my exercise program at least 3 times each week so I can get stronger. And you would just type that in, blah, blah, blah. And then there it is. And when you achieve that goal, you can check it off and you can give yourself a little pat on the back that you've completed that. So that's kind of the basics of what the app looks like. There's a few more features, but that's the general basics of it. So let me go back to the presentation. So in this study that I mentioned that we're doing, we're going to be comparing people who are using the app, and they will get exercise programs as well as the education program. And we'll compare them with a group who also gets the app, but they don't get exercises and education. So they can still keep track of their falls. They can still keep track of their health. They can still set goals for themselves and do whatever it is that they're doing on their own, but they're not going to get specific exercises and education through the app. And the good news is you get to choose which group you want to be in. So you can either be in the exercise education, group and all of the other app features, or you can just be in the not exercise education group. And what we're asking for is a 3-month commitment initially, but we are continuing the study for a total of 12 months. So you could stay in for another 9 months if you would like. And for that, you'll either be paid a $100 gift card, or you can keep the tablet that we'll give you. So I bet your next question is, do you qualify for the study? And so the answer is yes, if you live in Los Angeles or Orange County, speak English or Spanish, and if your doctor has told you that you're not allowed to exercise, then you wouldn't be permitted to be in the study. We are looking for people who are 55 and older. However, we really are interested in people who are at risk for falling because we would like to see if the app can help change that. So, you might be 55, but if you're 55 and you're a triathlete and you're, all those sorts of things, then you're probably not appropriate for the study. And so, yeah, that's the general info about the study. And this is my contact information, Cheryl at bluemarblehealthco.com. You could also contact William Pooh at bluemarblehealthco.com, or this is my phone number at the office, 626-296-6400. If you are interested in being in the study or just have any other general questions about our software platform, I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. That was wonderful information about falls in general, lots of different opportunities identified for preventing falls or even examining, your fall risk. So now's the time where you can enter any questions into the chat or use the question and answer function in Zoom. I did see one question come through so far. And the first one is, what is the fee for your app?
Yes. Well, that actually depends on who's asking. So typically we release the app through a program of some kind. So we don't have it available, say, like direct to consumer. That being said, if you are interested in using the app, I would still be happy to talk to you about it and we can see what we can figure out. So just shoot me an email and, let me know who you are and what you're thinking, and we'll see if we can figure something out.
Yep. And I'll go ahead and I'll put Cheryl's email back up on the screen once we get through the questions. Next question. If I don't live in LA or Orange County, can I still use the Health in Motion app and all of its features?
Yes. Let's see. Michelle asked that question. First of all, Michelle, why don't you live in Southern California? Come on. Yeah, the app is available to, oh, I see, San Diego. Yes, close enough. You are in Southern California. The main reason that we're limiting this study to LA and Orange County is just because we have to drive out to your house to kind of get you set up. So we just wanted to limit that geographical area. That being said, by all means, if we can't find enough people in LA, we would be happy to reach out to you to be in the study and we'll make the trek down there. But yeah, the app is available. It's in the App Store. You can download it to either Apple or Android. However, you do need a login and password, which is what like I said before, we have to figure out how to do that since we don't have a direct to consumer version of it. But yeah, we can just shoot me an email. I've put it up there, or maybe I didn't. Did I?
Yep,
Okay, I wasn't sure if that.
Cheryl at bluemarblehealthco.com.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just shoot me an email and we'll keep you on the list, and we'll be in contact, and we'll figure something out, Michelle.
All right. I know I see lots of great excitement about the study already.
Yeah.
I did see a question come in asking if we can have a copy of the slides. So I have good news for you all. So every time we do this Wellness Wednesday, we do record, which includes, the slides, and we are recording this one right here. And if you've joined our series before, you know that we've done about 10 other topics, during the course of, the pandemic, when we couldn't see each other. We just wanted to find a way to connect with you all. And we have uploaded all of those recordings to our Partners in Care Foundation YouTube channel. So I just put the link to all of those videos there. You should find all 10 of them. This will be an 11th that gets uploaded after today. And there's also some other great resources there with those videos. So go ahead and take a peek there. All right, any other questions?
I saw Maria asked, I'm downloading from the Apple Store. Is that the same app? If there's strangely enough, there's another company called Health in Motion who has an app. That's not the app. The app that we have, it will have a little green circle with some like a cairn, like those rocks that balance each other. That should be the logo that you see in the App Store. That would be the one. But again, we'd have to get you the login and password before you can just access it generally.
All All right, and I just stuck Cheryl's email in the chat again, just in case you missed it, Cheryl at bluemarblehealthco.com. I will also put it up on the screen before we close out today's webinar. All right, any other questions? We have a great resource in Cheryl here today. So anything about falls, exercising, that was a big point of today's conversation, and then also about the study. I see an anonymous person asking, may I ask a question? The best way to do that is going to be to either type it in exactly where you typed in, may I ask a question, or in the chat. So yes, go ahead. I'll be on the lookout for that coming through.
Mhm. It looks like she wants to speak instead of typing it all out.
Let me see. All right. Geeta, go ahead.
Thank you so much. It would have taken me a long time trying to type with my age, young age. But anyways, the reason like because I am a part of Contra Costa County, which is in Northern California, aging and older adult board. I'm on the board with Contra Costa County. So I would like to know, how can Cheryl help our county to do this for the people in our county? I mean, taking it to the county, maybe get a grant, maybe to how to utilize her services in Contra Costa. And would she be willing to speak with her presentation in front of the county supervisors? I don't know if we can get that far yet, but at least I can get her to speak if she's willing to. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Geeta, thank you so much for that opportunity, first of all. And yes, absolutely, we can, I'd be happy to speak with your group, your county, and any of the folks that you would like for me to. We do have a contract already with Los Angeles County, so we have rolled this out at the county level. I still think it requires going county to county and speaking with the right people. And I will tell you that the one thing that it requires is there needs to be sort of that champion on your end. So if we could potentially talk about and identify who that might be on your end, who would make this be part of their project, or their, they would manage this fall prevention program, then yeah, we'd be happy to roll it out with you all in Contra Costa County.
Lots of great opportunities, yes, to reach beyond, Los Angeles and Orange County, which we've talked about today, but falls just don't happen only in those two counties. They unfortunately happen in more places than that. Terry, I see your hand is up. I'm going to do the same that I did for Geeta in allowing you to talk. So if you want to ask your question, go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. While we're waiting, oh, there you go. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and, if you change your mind, go ahead and let us know in the chat. I did see one more question come in to see if we had a flyer of some sort or a handout that can be distributed.
Yes, absolutely. If you could shoot me your email or put it in the chat, and I'll copy it, and I can send you both a flyer, an email that's like a pre written email. Thank you. And also with we also have a 3-fold flyer, and I could send you some of those if if you need something like that. So yes, absolutely, be happy to email you some things. And I think I'll just copy looks like I got your email. I'll just copy that real quick, and we can have a conversation about what you all would like for me to send you. Absolutely.
Great, lots of excitement. Michelle, I see your message. Working on bringing this program to San Diego County or extending beyond Los Angeles and Orange County to San Diego. Yes, do send us an email. We're happy to collaborate with anybody, especially around the topic of falls. So just a quick is not a word, quick side note. We do have a statewide fall prevention grant through which we're working with 2 organizations in San Diego County, but certainly working in 9 other counties, including Los Angeles. In San Diego, we're working with Aging and Independent Services, which is the Area Agency on Aging, and also with Scripps Health. So those are going to be great resources for you in San Diego. I see a question. This presentation is being recorded. Yes, once done, can you forward it to your colleagues? Yes, absolutely. It's going to be housed at the same YouTube link that I shared a little bit earlier. What I can also do is send a follow-up email to everybody that was in attendance today and share that link, share contact information, letting you all know how you can follow up. Do we have any matter of balance classes in LA? Why, yes, we do. In another couple of slides before we close out today, I will let you know what phone number you can call or what email address you can write to in order to find the next soonest class that you can enroll in. So yes, absolutely, Jim. Thank you so much for that question. And then flyers. Yep. I see, Maria, your inquiry there. I think that maybe the email address might not have come through as formatted. So Maria, if you want to throw your email address in there once more, we'll make sure to get that right. Michelle, thank you so much for that note. This information really does help to save lives and help people be more independent. You know, the more education that we can share, the better. This is obviously something that we're very, very passionate about. And certainly we know you all are too, and having joined us this morning. So thank you so much. That means a lot.
And before we close, I also just want to say, Christy and Two Partners in Care, thanks again so much for the opportunity to present. Seems like we've had a really great group of folks on the call today. So I really appreciate the opportunity to present to everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really special when we get to, you know, share in our partnerships and share really important information. You know, we get to talk on a, you know, on a weekly basis and working together, but we don't always get to interact, you know, with this crowd here. And, you know, this has been a wonderful way for us to be able to connect around California, sometimes even beyond. I do see your question, Jim. Do we have good turnout for Matter of Balance? Sharing that you volunteer with Meals on Wheels in the Diablo region, finding it challenging to get people to sign up right now. You know, given the remote nature of all of this, just our outreach is not the same as it has been, right? We don't have those same methods of reaching out to people. And, you know, not everybody has access to technology, which is something that you know, we found to be kind of a major challenge, especially during the pandemic. There is certainly a gap. And so at the end of this presentation, you know, Sheryl mentioned that in order to participate in the study, participants have access to a tablet whereby they can access the app. But if that's not the right fit for you or for your participants, I will share another opportunity with you all, especially for those who are living in Los Angeles County. Big divide when it comes to digital and technology. Absolutely. We have, however, seen lots of great interest in Matter of Balance. You know, people who are around the home quite a bit more Just because we're at home and might not be in the community as much, falls still unfortunately do happen. So we have seen, a lot of people enrolling in classes.
And I'll just mention that while we are running the study, we also have the app available outside of the study. So not everybody has to be involved in the study to have access to the app. I want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, thank you, Sheryl. All right. Well, certainly we have shared contact information with you all, and that's something that you can continue to use. Sheryl, again, just thank you so much for your time and for all of the great information that you have shared. Jim, I know you were asking about those Matter of Balance classes, and there may be others who are interested in finding out more about these health promotion programs that could include Matter of Balance, Tai Chi, bingo size, chronic disease self-management, lots and lots of great opportunities for older adults to enroll in programs in a safe fashion. Many are being offered remotely, so either through Zoom, just the way that you all have joined us today. There are a few options available by telephone, and on a very, very limited basis, we are doing some in-person programs where safety measures allow. So if you're interested in finding out more, go ahead and give us a buzz at that phone number you see here, 818-403-5452. Again, that's 818-403-5452. Or you can send an email to ebprograms@picf.org. Again, here is Cheryl's contact info. So her email is here at cheryl@bluemarblehealthco.com. It's going to be a great resource for a lot of you guys who are really, really interested in spreading the good news about the study, about the app, and finding out more about business opportunities for working with Blue Marble. I can certainly attest that it's a great, great experience. And here is that information. So I know you all were able to join us using your technology through access that you have, but you might know somebody. Partners in Care Foundation is here in Los Angeles, even though we do reach beyond through different funding sources and partnerships. But if you know somebody who is an LA County resident, age 60 or over, who does not have access to internet and could really benefit from that, we have a tablet lending program. It makes it easy to join some fun online wellness workshops. They can communicate with their doctor, their friends, their family members, just like Cheryl was sharing in the presentation. And it is offered at no cost. You just have to agree to attend 2 workshops, 2 of our evidence-based workshops over the course of a 6-month period. And if you call that telephone number, that 818 number that you see there, it's the exact same one that was on the previous slide, then somebody will talk you through the process and let you know about all of the terms and conditions of this free tablet lending program. All right. Look, it has been wonderful to be back together in Wellness Wednesday with you all. This recording, again, will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so do check in a little bit later this week, if not early next week, and you will find that there along with a few other recordings from the past year. Of course, if you've got any questions, you've got our contact information. Thank you so much for your time. Time is such a precious commodity these days, and we're so grateful that you joined us today with all that you have to do in your daily lives. So thank you again. We hope that you all take care, be well, and be safe. Thank you, guys.